What's up with y'all? Jeff Sparks, Star Pilot back in this motherfucking. Check it out. When y'all go through shit, it ain't as hard as it seems until you actually go through it. Now, I'm gonna explain that. Y'all ever had a situation in your life where you just haven't been through that experience in your life yet? So then, when you're trying to like see how it would feel to be in that experience, you go through it, and then you go through it. It wasn't what it seemed. It was like it wasn't even that difficult. It wasn't even that hard. Or like you can have like a certain thing. Like let's say you're trying to work on cars, and you're working on a certain car, and for some reason you never worked on a car before, but you feel like deep down in your heart that like it'd be difficult to work on a car, and then you actually work on that car, and it wasn't even that hard. It was actually simple. Those kind of little not experiment, but little reasoning on why I say these things. Like the things that we go through ain't that difficult until we actually go through them. Because we may be in experiences where we don't like know where these things will lead to. We don't know how these things will work. We don't know how these things will correspond until we actually do it. And when you do it, it's like that feeling that you got to come up with your own thought and feeling to see what that experience was for you. And once you go through it, it becomes like a bittersweet, because now you got some tools you know how to produce and use for the universe, or not fuck that bitch, but for God, for all possibilities. So when you do that for all possibilities, you're in a space of where now you're in a different mission. You're doing shit beyond, you know what I'm saying, actual work, but it all corresponds to working too. You know, so when you work hard, you get the results back. So it's kind of like that too. So shit like that, y'all want to make sure that when y'all going through certain experiences, you want to be free to everything you're going through. You know what I'm saying? When you don't want to be limited, because when you limit your shit, you may not be aware of what could happen or what could happen next or whatever like that. So when you do that, make sure you're not limiting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're actually going through full force. And that's what will help you and go throughout your better experiences at astral travel and your astral perspectives, which is how you see shit the right way. So now you don't get lost in these motherfuckers. You understand these things for what they are. So just when you're heading through life head first, make sure you don't want to always go head first all the time. You always want to create certain, go to the esoteric Home Depot and create certain objects and building frontiers to how to create your certain spaceship. So when you, not spaceship, but well, you can say spaceship, but your certain experiences. So when you go through that experience, you got the certain lay grounds and breakdowns going forward. So now instead of crashing into something head first, you have like the pillows, you have the shit. So you go through head first, you don't experience all that pain. But see, now when I say that, this kind of brings me to my next point. Let's say you're a tough spirit and you don't give a fuck about the hurt, the pain, the all that shit, all that accumulation that comes from what happens when you go through something and it wasn't what you thought it would be, right? Let's say you do want to go ahead first. You're a tough spirit. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Let me just go through this shit, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Spiritual pain is all that. Spiritual pain is different from physical pain anyway. So it's not, your spirit can't feel pain. Your spirit creates these things. So once you go through that actual head first, you come to the conclusion that it really wasn't that like it. That pain might have been hurt. It might have really hurt you, but see, you understand that pain is actually a fuel that you can use for yourself. So when you use that fuel for yourself, it actually helps you with how to get through different ways of living, different ways of experiencing. And that's the key way, you know. So when you see shit like that, because that actually helps you out the long run. So when you're doing shit like that, it's kind of like you don't really expect the pain to go crazy. Like the pain, it's kind of like you're in the feeling of, without the pain you would never had this better feeling. It was this more corresponded feeling, you know what I'm saying? So you're more new, like spiritually, esoterically nutritioned up. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to be at, spaces like that, when you're nutritioned up. When you're esoterically, spiritually nutritioned up, that helps you. That's like you watering your plant and you watching that plant get hit by the sun rays, and you let that shit grow. So you let that shit grow. Alright. When you let that shit grow, you got better ways in how that shit can like look like in your perspective. So if it looks like a big ass like a big ass tree that can blossom with good fruits and shit like that, that's your perspective. That's what you it's a bear, it's a fruit you bear. If it looks like some fruits that no one wants to eat, has a bunch of insects, bugs, and shits inside of that shit, and no one wants to eat that shit, you won't bear good fruit. So it's kind of like the bearing fruit. When you know how to bear good fruit, that kind of helps you correspond to what can help you, what you can become. So that becomes just your purpose in life, what you want to do, what you want to push for, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the ways that we want to be going through, or the ways you can better yourself if you want to help yourself, or if you want to help others in your life that can look at these types of ways of seeing shit that can help them go along forward in life. And when you go head first in your situation, instead of looking for the curiosity and see, oh shit, what has this, is that, and you just go head first, it's better as if you're a tough spirit, you know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? We out in this motherfucker.